These videos are for educational purposes only. I'm not selling anything or promoting the sale of vape products on this channel. You must be of legal vaping age 18 to 21, depending on where you are in the world, to view this video. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the content.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining. Did I make it? Yes, I did. Drink in hand. How we doing, guys? Thanks for joining. Who have we got in today? Can everybody hear me? Got my mic up here. See if it better sound. Any change to the sound? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a couple of weeks since I've last been on. And the reason being for that is family member, father being in hospital. So it's just been a busy and a hectic couple of weeks. I'm not even prepared or anything, but I do appreciate whoever's here, who's joined, who have we got watching. So I'm just chilling with the Pulse Mini AIO. Are you gonna focus? No, it's not gonna focus. There we are, that's better. No, it's not. There we are. So, Pulse AIO Mini. Just got the normal bridge in there. Pulse Vessel V2. Just in there. Got a 28 gauge frame staple in there, and I am vaping on some custard creams. So let's do that and do that. So custard cream there by Juice Cabin. So there we are. Very nice juice after a good long steep. Yes, it is in glass bottles. I normally put my juice in glass bottles, but I misplaced my bottles, so just recently found them. I do prefer my juice in glass bottles. There we are. So who have we got in today? I know we've got a few people in. Who's here? Before we get started. And that's all I'm vaping on at the moment. Like I say, hectic, so I haven't had time to build anything. I've done a bit of practicing, so it's a bit of hit and miss with everything. So let me just refresh that. Oh, that's better. Can everybody hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me all right? Definitely some people in, but nobody commenting. Can you comment? And can you hear me? That is the main thing. I've got me saying microphone's on. I've got it up here rather than down here. See if it makes a difference. If you can hear me better. What's everybody vaping on? What's everybody drinking on? If you see my post a couple of days back, you see I've got some drinks in. I've got this one at the moment from Vault City. Toffee Nut Latte Imperial Stout. Have you seen the percentage on that one? This. Come on, Henry. There we are. 11%. Wow. So it's a smaller can. It's not like a normal size can. It's just slightly smaller. So writing's too small for my eyes. It does say a decadent, silky, nutty stout. So it has been in the freezer, so it's nice and cold. Just got my normal glass, nothing special, it's just what I drink out of, one of them. Let's go in for the pour, let me have a smell. Oh, definitely smell the toffee and the nuttiness to it. There we are, going for the pour. Looks nice and thick as well. So there we are, just short of a pint in there. There we are. I'm just a bit concerned because there's people in but not commenting. Can you comment? Are you allowed to comment? Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. Just so I know that you can hear me, just say that you can hear me. In. How about now? So I know there's a couple of people in. Still no comments. So I'm getting a bit concerned why people are not being commenting or can't comment. Yeah, everything's good. So who's in? Can you please tell me if you can hear me? Or I'm not knowing if comments are off. Are you allowed to comment? Because I see people ducking in and ducking out. I'm just concerned. Is my mic all right? Anyway, cheers, guys. Oh, wow. That is very coffee and nutty with a slight taste of toffee. I was a bit worried about the toffee, but yeah. Let's try it with some of this custard cream. Very thick, very thick. Wow. That is very nice. That is dangerous though, because it's more on the sweeter side, so it's easy to drink, just like pop. But yeah, very strong. Whew. Very nice. Cheers, guys. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Hashtag replay crew. Everybody that's there. I really hope you can comment, guys. And there's nothing wrong with the stream. So there's people that's come jumping in and jumping out. Can somebody just comment so I know that the comments are working and stuff like that, and you can hear me? Hope everybody's all right. Hope everybody's okay. Probably me. I'm just getting paranoid. Probably. You don't have to comment if you just want to watch. Yeah, very dangerous. That very dangerous. So as always, I will be making a coil. I'm going to be putting on something a bit older, a bit retro, what you might call retro or old school now. Have a drink, have a banter. You'll see everything that I'm doing. If people that are watching that have seen my previous live streams know that I will be moving my camera, but I've got a better setup here for view and stuff like that. Hopefully that'll make a difference as well. So anyway, let's get started. I really hope everybody can hear me and everybody's allowed to comment. But no, Nightbot will be doing the rounds when people start interacting and commenting. So the best way you can support the channel is to subscribe and hit that bell icon. It really helps push this video and these lives out to people who want to enjoy watching them and everything. Don't forget to like and obviously comment and even share if you think somebody might benefit from one of these videos. So let's get you unplugged there. There we are. So like I say, I will be moving you over here. I do have slightly better setup just here. You can see me a bit better, and I'll plug that in, making sure everything's all right and you can see me like that. You can hear me and see me. Nobody's commenting or anything, so I don't know if this stream is coming through all right or anything like that. So let me get my camera out like that so you can see me a bit better. Move that on to live chat and you can see me. Move my chair around so I'm not messing about, shuffling about. Right guys, so you're on the arm now, so it should be easier for me to do stuff and then obviously focus in better on stuff. And I don't know why that's locked in like that. Everything's okay there as far as I know. So that light is on, so I'm hoping you can hear me and stuff. I really do. So okay, so today I'm going to attempt the Suka Alien, which is similar to a Fralien or a frame staple, only the wrap on the outside is alien wrap with a ribbon wire. So let's see. So let me get you set up a bit and swivel you around like that. So there we are. So I want you to be able to see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So hopefully that will help as well. Okay, and you can see everything that I'm doing here, which is good. And I've got you high enough. When I need to get you in close to what I'm doing, I will do. That's not a problem. Just to be slightly prepared, I have done a decal there of ribbon wire. So just so I've got a spare just in case the first one messes up. But I will be making a decal showing you all how to do it and what we're doing. So what I'll do first is do that. So what I want to build on is this drop RDA. So I'm hoping the bottom bit is a lot better as well. I really do. Makes you see stuff a bit better. So unfortunately this is usable, but it is broke, which I will get into in a minute. But yeah, the original drop RDA, which was brilliant. So people that are still jumping in and out, can you please comment so I know you can hear me and everything's coming through all right? Because I'm getting worried that nobody can hear me or nobody can comment. So if you're in, could you comment just so I know everything's all right? So anyway, drop. RDA. There we are. Nice and beautiful. Still a very, very good RDA in my opinion. There we are. So dual airflow, 24 or 25 millimeters in diameter. Does come with a squonk pin and normal stuff, drip tip, extra O-rings, post screws and stuff like that. So that's that. So that is the drop. So I do have the thing on. It was used, that's why it's got all these scratches and stuff on. Obviously it wasn't like that when I first purchased it. So does this map make a difference, guys? Because I'm not even sure if people can hear me or people can comment. So I'm just going to take the top cap off. There we are. That is the deck. Like that. So as you can see there, one of my posts have broken, which is there. So that's technically why I say it's broken, but still usable. I still use this for single coil, which is what I will be doing today. I'll be using it for single coil. Yeah, so it does come with a squonk pin as well, so it's good for squonking. So that's the deck there. So apart from that post, it hasn't even flaked or anything or come apart. Flathead screws as well. So dual O-ring as well, bit of the paint's coming off there, chipping off, and it's got these two divots as well, which corresponds with the top cap. So it lines up your airflow in front of the coils, two-piece design, so the top part comes off as well. So there we are, top cap. Conical design on the inside, like so. There we are, 810 drip tip as well. If I just pull this out, I believe that is the drip tip that came with it, or one that was similar to this, but I'm sure it did come with a blue drip tip, just like that. And a step down system for the airflow as well. So if I just try and put it here without any glare, so you could turn it off, so you could turn off the top row like that and just have the 4 just there, and then cut off a row at a time, even to the bottom one, even to the point where you can have just one hole open just there. And whatever you put on one side will be the same on the other side as well. So if you've got it all open, it'll be all open on the opposite side as well. People are jumping in and out. Can you hear me? What are you guys doing? I'm worried that you can't comment for some reason. So if somebody could just comment just to let me know that you can hear me and everything, and you can comment. So that is the top cap. So basically that is the RDA that we're going to be building. So depending on my build, depends on what I'm going to be putting it on. So we'll go from there when we get there. So yeah, that's what we're going to be building. We're going to be building the drop. There we are. Beautiful. Protruding as well. Lovely. Still a very, very good RDA. There we are. So, That's what we're building. So let's get set up with what I'm doing. So let me move you back up here. So you can see exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. There we are. And I hope this brown sheet helps a lot as well. Let me just have a quick look. No. There we are. So that's all sorted there. So like I say, previously I did do a decor there just so I've got a spare one, because like I say, I've been practicing and playing around with it and I either nail it or screw it up completely. So like I say, I've got a spare one there, but I am going to do one so you know what I'm doing. So I've already got a 26 piece of 26 gauge of nichrome 80. Okay, that beer has got to me straight away. Right, guys, can somebody please comment, please, just so I know that everything's working. Because at the moment, I'm not convinced. So, Chris, thank you for commenting. Can you hear me, Chris? So now I feel a bit better now that I know the comments are working and everything. So hi, Chris, thank you, welcome. So, like I say, brilliant, perfect. That's all I wanted to know, because I'm seeing people jump in and jump out and nobody's commented yet. And I'm like, can people hear me? Can people do this? Can people do that? But thank you, Chris. Anyway, welcome. So, like I say, Suka Alien. So it's a bit like a frame staple or a Fralian, only the wrap on the outside, the final wrap is done with ribbon wire. So, like I say, I've already done a decor there. This is a spare, but I am going to do show you everything that I'm going to be using and whatnot, and how I'm going to be doing it. When I need to get you in close, I will do. So, what I'm basically going to do now is I'm going to do a decor of ribbon wire. So the ribbon wire that I'm using to do the decor or the final wrap, similar to an alien, is going to be ribbon wire. So I have a little stool just here that I put on here, just for my drill, because I like everything eye length and in front of me. And then I just, yeah, so you can see a bit better there, guys, what I'm doing. There we are. So a drill, any drill, I'm just using this one. This is a Daedalus Pro drill. So this is the only one that I've been using. If you've just got a normal drill, that's perfectly fine as well. Just use your normal drill that you would normally use. Make sure it's got a forward and reverse motion on there, because that will be important, especially with coil building as well. So I'm going to use a clamp, just a similar clamp. So here in the UK, I got this from Screwfix, but I think Lidl or Aldi have got these at the moment, 2 for about £6. And this is what I use just to secure my drill in place here. And the reason why I do that is just so it doesn't move about and it stays perfect for me. So I've got a piece of 26 gauge wire just here like that. Piece of 26 gauge there. Move you a bit down now so you can see what I've done. That's a bit better. Move you across a bit and a bit more down. I know it's a lot of moving around, guys. I just want you to get the best view possible. So 26 gauge wire is what I'm going to be doing my decore off. NI80 wire. So all I'm going to do, so the tools that I'm going to need as well is some pliers, nylon pliers if I need to keep anything nice and uniform, some wire cutters there, and at the moment that's all I need for now. So let's get this coil sorted. So what I'm going to do with this wire here is I'm just going to put a little L in it. So I'm just going to take it there and put an L in it like that. So all that's going to do is going to make it easier for mounting here in my chuck. So I do need a pair of these as well, just so I can see what I'm doing as well, because my eyesight isn't great. And hopefully that doesn't interfere as well with my microphone as I'm using it. So this is just a normal size chuck. This bit here is a chuck for keeping your wires straight. This is from the Friendly Coil Factory is where I got it from in France, and it's just basically a flat chuck with teeth. So if you're doing multi core builds, it keeps all your wires nice and flat and next to each other and not all bunched up in a normal chuck part here. So it's a piece that just attaches to your drill or a chuck of a drill, and you can use it and it spins like it would normally. So gonna make sure that my chuck is open, so I want it open a bit. It does have a center divot piece for the wire to lay in, so that's good. So I'm just going to secure that in. So the reason why I've got put an L in there is just make it easier for mounting my wire or my ribbon wire on there. So I'm hoping people that normally come in are happy that I've got this here, just so it makes it a bit more easier for you to see what I'm doing and all the wires and stuff. Like so. Let me get you in closer. Closer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lock that in so you can see it. So like that. So for my swivel setup, I do have so here is just basically a bench vise with a piece of wood and some swivels, some ball bearing swivels there. I've got 3. It just helps if one fails, then I've got another one that's still spinning basically like that, and that's how I'm going to thingy. Obviously it's level with my chuck drill, so it spins in a straight line. So here on this side I'm going to put in another L, and that's just going to help mount it into my swivel or my fishing swivel just here. So as you can see there, I've got a L shape in there again. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and then I'm just going to wind it round like that to lock it in. Where's my... Yeah. So basically that's what it looks like, just there. So lock that in there like that. So it's nice, it's not too tight, like so. It's just right. There we are. So let me get that locked in so you can see what I'm doing. There we are, all locked in so you can see just there. So I've got my piece of 26 gauge all in there like that. I've got my little piece sticking there to mount my ribbon wire on there. So the ribbon wire that I'm using is this ribbon wire just here. So it's a 0.3 ribbon wire by 0.1. So it's about the same thickness as a piece of 28 gauge laid flat. So this is what's going to be our Suka alien wrap or final wrap, is what I'm going to be using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my flat wire out of here like so. I want to make sure that my wire is flat or going onto my D-core flat. So I'm just going to pull a bit out. So same as doing a normal alien, you want to be doing this D-core the opposite way you like to do your final wrap. So my final wraps, I like to wrap it over the top. Okay, so I want to be doing my alien wrap from underneath. Now, if you're the opposite way, you like to do your final wrap underneath, you do this by you do your D-core over the top. Okay, so basically you want to just do it, you want to do this part, your D-core wrap, the opposite way you feel comfortable wrapping if you were doing just like a normal fused Clapton or a normal alien Clapton build. That's what you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lay the wire flat against my piece of 26 gauge in my chuck. Just going to secure that in like so. So as it's being flat, now if it was just a normal wire, a normal round wire, you'd hold it at a 90-degree angle. So the way you want to do this is like you would be wrapping a final alien wrap. You just want to be leaning slightly towards your swivel, just like that, just so it doesn't bunch up. If you go wrong, you might be able to correct it, but it doesn't always work that way. It depends on how it overwraps on itself to how it will come out, but it doesn't always help. It's a bit like an alien part, this. So making sure that's nice and straight. So drill opposite way, and get the wraps going. So you want to be holding your spool pretty tight, but not too tight. And like I say, you want to be slightly ahead of the game. And then once you get a groove, get going. Like that. So similar to an alien D-core, you want slightly extra than the wire that you're using, but you need slightly more. So let me just do that out like so, and put you there so you can see what I'm doing, and then very carefully get going again. So what I'll do is when I get to a certain point, I'll measure what I've got. So I'm just going to stop there. And I'm just going to quickly measure how much decore I've got. So I know roughly how much wire that I'm going to be using. So I definitely need a bit more than that. So I'm going to move you across here, get you in there, and get you locked in there like that. And then I'm going to carefully carry on. So I'm going to stop there again, and I'm going to just quickly measure how much I've got. And don't forget, it is going to recoil on you a bit. So take that into consideration as well, that when you snip it off, it's going to recoil a bit. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail on there. Just use my snippers here, just to leave a bit of a tail on there, and it will recoil back a bit. And that's our decore, or our ribbon decore, that we're going to be stretching just like we would an alien. Like so. So I'm just going to put that back on my stuff there. So what you want to do now is I want to make sure that, just like an alien, when doing an alien decor, I want to make sure that it will move. So what I want to do here is I just want to pull and see if it moves, which it does. It does slightly move. So I need to loosen it up just a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the tail just here on this side. Take that thingy focus off. So I'm going to grab the tail on this side. I'm going to throw my drill into reverse and just spin it. And what that'll do is that'll release it a bit. So that is moving now. It'll move a bit better once I've moved it off here. So there we go. So as you can see now, that decore will move off this move. So the decore will move, which is what I want to do, so I can take it off this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop this, because I'm just going to be using this 26 gauge is going to be my frame wire for my ribbon wire. So just decore it like you would a normal alien decore with round wire, and set it aside just like that. So that's my spare. If I mess up, that's the one that I've done just there. So now I want to take this out of here. I'm going to take this out of here. I'm going to trim. I'm going to just quickly trim that L shape off there. You see me throwing stuff underneath my desk. I've got a bin just there. So I just want to quickly check my length of this piece of 26 gauge. And as long as I've got over 30 centimeters or just under 12 inches, that'll be good for me. So 30, so just over. So this part is going to be my frame part. Right, let's set up the ribbon wire. So my ribbon wire, let's see if I can do this a bit better. Put you there. So ribbon wire. So the ribbon wire that I'm going to be using is going to be the 0.4, which is going to be framed by 26 gauge. So the 0.4 is basically the same thickness as the 26 gauge laid flat, and then 0.1 of thingy when it's laid flat, which is what you'll see. So I want an 8-ply, you might hear people call an 8-ply, or 8 pieces stacked up against each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 pieces of ribbon, twice the size that I want my final, so I can fold them in half. So if I cut 4 pieces of ribbon off twice the length and fold them in half, I get the 8 pieces of ribbon stacked, which is what I want. So, like I say, let's get some ribbon sorted now. So I will want to also stretch it a bit if it doesn't come off nicely. So I will want to stretch it a bit. But I'm not going to stretch it on the spool like I would round wire. I'm going to be stretching it once after I've cut it. So I'm going to use scissors for this, just because I get a nice cleaner cut. So I want about 12 inches, 30 centimeters of ribbon wire. So I want about 4 pieces of that. Doesn't matter if you go over slightly, it don't make a difference. It's always better to have extra just for trimming purposes and stuff, and making everything nice and even. So that's 1 piece. Get another piece out. So I'm doing roughly 30 centimeters, 12 inches. Cut there. Nice clean cut. Especially if you're using guides or anything. I don't use guides. I use just a key ring. Although I can use my guide as well, but I tend to use my guide when I'm doing aliens and stuff. Is when I tend to use my guide. As well as key rings as well. I do use key rings with my guides as well. It's just not with this sort of build. So that's my 4 pieces of ribbon just there. So I hope the people that normally watch me did mention last week about obviously my mat underneath causing a glare for everything. So I'm hoping that this helps and you can see everything. I didn't want to go white because it can be really glary, and I didn't want to go for black because then also that can have the same effect. So I opted for brown. So I want to straighten these pieces. So as you can see, some are straight, some are curved. It's just easier for me if I stretch them. You can get, I mean, I've got on one of my other spools, when I pull it off, it comes off straight. But in this case it hasn't. So it's easily stretchable. You just got to do it like you would normal Kenthal, normal round wire, sorry. Just don't do it on the spool because you can mess up all your wire that's on your spool. So I'm just grabbing both ends, making sure that it's straight, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little tug, or I'm going to try and give it a little tug if I'm holding on to it a bit better, which I'm not. So let me hold it there. Hopefully that'll work. And then just give it a little stretch, and that'll come out nice and straight for you. Same again, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try and do it more in camera. So I'm just holding that, keeping it straight, running my finger down it, and then keeping it straight for me to mount into these pliers just there. Pull, and then like I say, just give it a little tug. It don't have to be a big tug, just needs to be a little tug, enough to straighten it up. And there we are, we've got another straight piece there. And this just makes it also easier when preparing them and getting everything stacked and stuff. It's easier with a straight piece rather than a curved piece if you're not good with ribbon wire, which I wasn't to begin with. Give it a little thingy, drop it off there. So 4 pieces just there like that. So 4 pieces folded in half will give me 8 pieces, or 8 pieces of ribbon stacked. Or if you're watching somebody else and they talk about 2-ply, 3-ply is basically talking about how many pieces of ribbon. So if it's if they say 8-ply, it's 8 pieces of ribbon stacked on each other. So I'm going to give it a little tug there, and we've got nice 4 pieces of ribbon just there. There we are. So 4 pieces of ribbon there, nice and straight. So like I say, it doesn't matter if you have slightly extra, because you can be cutting ends off and making them a bit uniform and stuff, so it all stacks together and stays together nice and straight. Just have a quick drink here. Thanks for people that are here. I appreciate you. Like I say, that one's really nice, but it's very dangerous because it's 11%, and it just tastes like candy. Just tastes like a coffee, basically. Have a vape. So the people that are watching, what are you guys vaping on? I'm just vaping on this until I build something. There we are. So, like I say, I've got 4 pieces of ribbon. Now, you can just put them all together, stack them, and stack them like that. To keep them all together, you can use a variety of things. You can use water, you can use spit. I've used water and not got on with it. I don't want to use spit on my build. So what I've got here is just an old drinks cap with a sponge that's been cut out. And all I've got in there is just some normal base mix, VG and PG. And that just helps keep everything together and nice, which is basically what I'll dip my finger in. So what I want to do here is I just want to grab one end and just make them all level. Now it can be fiddly at first getting everything stacked and everything, but it will eventually go together nicely and stacked. So like this. like so. So once you've roughly got them all stacked on top of each other, is what you want to do is, because I've got a bow in one of mine, I've put a bow in it. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet my finger like that, and then run my finger down the ribbon wire like so. Now this is not going to stay together for me because I have bent one of my wires, or one of my ribbon wires. I'm just going to gently turn it around and do the same thing, run my finger down like so. So I want to make sure that they're all stacked on top of each other, which they are. That's all level on that side. So what I want to do is I want to make them all level on this side. So they're all stacked together neatly. Let me make this a little bit better for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So as you can see, I've got them stacked on top of each other. All those ends are messed up. So what I want to do is I just want to cut them flush like that. So I want to make sure they're all stacked together like so. So they're all on top of each other, and then I'm just going to give them a quick snip there without bending one side. So as you are running your fingers down, they should all come together like so. There we are, perfect. So you see how that VG and PG has helped. So now that they're all stacked and all together, which I'm having trouble with at the moment. So what I'm going to do is run my finger down, and then I'm going to grab the end. Grab the finger down, and then I'm going to put both ends together like so, like that. So I've put both ends together just like that. No auto or anything on there. There we are. So together like that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully run my fingers up like that and create a loop. And then I'm going to squish them together a bit like so. So basically what you want is, if I can show you, is basically that. So as you can see there, I've got a loop. They're all stacked side by side on top of each other, just like that. So what I'm going to do is, with this, is I am going to pinch it, make sure it's together. Don't worry about your tail ends at the moment. You just want to concentrate on this top part first, like so. Can I get this to focus? Right, let's get some manual focus going on here. There we are. So there we are, all together like that. So what I want to do to secure them all together is, no, not have a cigarette, is I'm going to use a glue stick, hot glue. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they're all together and stacked at this end, like so. I want it stacked and together, like so. And then I'm going to heat my glue stick with my lighter. And then I'm going to use the glue stick just to secure this end all together. Try not to burn yourself also in the process, like so. And then you want to let it dry a bit. Push these together, like so. So once you've secured that bit in there like that, come on, off, there we are. So as you can see there, I've got a loop there and they're all stacked on top of each other like that. I've got that secured there like that. Then I'm just going to run my fingers down like so, keeping it all together and all on top of each other, like so. So that's perfect. So what I want to do is, after I've run my fingers down, I want to make sure that that's more or less together, which is perfect. So that's the ribbon wire all stacked and next to each other, like so. So that's all stacked. So that's my first bit of preparation. Working with ribbon wire, it's all about preparation. If you mess up your preparation, then unfortunately your build won't come out the way you want it to come out. So let me do that. Is that better? There we are. So that's all the ribbon wire stacked up and together. So what I want to do now is my piece of 26 gauge here that I use for my decor. This is what I'm going to be using to frame it. So same again with like I did with the ribbon. I'm just going to take the two ends together and then run my finger up so I create a loop or a center point loop like that with a bend in it. I want to put a bend in it. I want it to go over the outside of the ribbon. So if need be, I will use a plier here just to make it a bit more like that. Let's see. Does that make a bit better? Not, hopefully not as glary, because I do create a shadow on here like that. So now what I want to do is I want to put my ribbon wire now in between this to frame it with the 26 gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ribbon wire basically like that. So obviously they're all stacked flat like that next to each other. Then I'm putting the 26 gauge wire around it. Like so. So same again now. What I want to do is I want to secure that in with that. So I want to secure that now. So again, what I want to do is I want to just help myself slightly by squeezing this in like that. Like I say, this part is the most important part, the preparation, especially with ribbon wire, preparation is key. So again, I want to secure that with some glue stick. So again, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat my glue stick up. And then secure that in there, a nice good dollop. Need a bit more. So I need a good dollop on there just to keep everything nice. And then give that a couple of seconds to dry. So as you can see, my 28 gauge is right next to it, like so. So my ribbon wire is on the inside and my 28 gauge is on the outside. So give that a couple of minutes just to set. So I'm just going to use that a bit just to let it set. Now you can blow it if you want. That is still a bit wet. So like I say, preparation is everything with this build. There we are. So that's nicely done just there. So what I want to do now is I want to run my finger down. So as you can see there now, so as you can see there now, you have got the ribbon wire on the inside, the 28 gauge on the outside, just like that. So what I'm going to do now, keeping everything nice and tight and straight, I'm going to run my fingers down. If you feel that it gets clogged up a bit, just give it a little wiggle, like that, but it should all just fall into place nicely, like so. Like I say, this is the longest bit because preparation is key. So I want to make sure that that's all together and nice, like that, farthest way to the end as possible. I'm just going to cut the 26 gauge flush, like that, watch your eyes. And again, just to make sure, I'm going to run my fingers down just to make everything together and close and neat. And then same with this side, I'm going to secure it with some hot glue. So again, with my hot glue, I'm just going to put it on the edge like this. So you can see how I'm doing this hot glue. Don't need a glue gun, it's just hot glue that you put in a glue gun. So I'm going to heat it up. So this end is going into the chuck. So I want a decent enough dollop on this side, like so. Keeping everything nice and together, like that. Keeping everything nice and together. And I'm going to put some more hot glue on there just to make sure. So this is still wet and I've gone and touched it. So I'm just going to use the power of persuasion with my finger, just like that. I am going to put some more on. So just heat up your glue like that. And then again, I'm going to put a decent dollop of glue on there, like that. And that is just for, because I want to mount it in my chuck, like that. And then just give that a couple of minutes to dry, or alternatively you can blow it. Like that, just give that a couple of minutes, and then that is your ribbon wire and 26 gauge all prepared. So basically what you end up getting is that right there. Come on, focus, Henry. So you've got your 8 pieces stacked on top of each other, and then the 26 gauge on the outside, just there, like that. Look at that. Perfect. Come on, Henry. There we are, just like that. So that is your preparation all sorted. Like I say, it is a long process of the build, and unfortunately just the way it is with ribbon. So that's your preparation, that's your piece of ribbon. Eight pieces of ribbon stacked on top of each other with 26 gauge. Now don't worry if it's a bit weird. Once you get it mounted and everything, it all straightens back up like that. So that's the preparation bit done there. So you've got one side that's going to go into your swivel, one side that's going to go into your chuck, like that. So I'm just going to turn this main light off now because it's causing too much of a glare in the room. So I appreciate the two that are here. I know for some people it can be boring, this part, but yeah, that's the preparation done. There we go, like that. And that's your preparation. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it mounted into the chuck. I'm going to get it mounted into the chuck and go from there. So I'm not going to be using this straight chuck. I'm going to be using the chuck of the drill. Going to be using the chuck of the drill. going to be using the truck of the drill. So I'm just going to release my flat chuck from there. So if you've never watched my lives, that is a close-up of the chuck that I use, the flat chuck, to keep all my wires straight if I'm doing a multi-core build. I won't be using it for the ribbon because it smashes your ribbon up. Hence me using just the normal chuck to mount it with. So the bit that I've got the bobble bit on there like that is going into the chuck. Now I'm mounting it into my chuck first, just for the simple fact I find it easier mounting it into the chuck first than the swivel. So I'm just going to get this started. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to make sure that I get it down as tight as I can without distorting those ribbon wires. So I want to be round about there like that. That's perfect, like that. So swivel time. I'm going to bring my swivel over like so, and then I'm going to hook this end into my swivel. So all I'm going to hook into there is the 26 gauge part, not the ribbon. There we are, like that. So like I say, if it's a bit distorted, don't worry. Don't you worry one bit, because it will all straighten out and go a bit uniformed. So in this case I will be using a keyring. Keyring method is just, it works for me, just to keep everything together and nice and straight. So I'm just using a small keyring like that, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to just slide that over my wire like that, and what that does is it just keeps everything nice, together and straight. Right, so let me change that to this. Let me get you all the way down here. Like that. I want this to stay like this. So basically that's how the keyring works. Just keeps everything nice and together, everything nice and flat. And like I say, you've got your 26 gauge on the outside, and then your 0.4 ribbon stacked on top of each other, like that. It's stacked like that, so the thicker piece is laying flat with the 26 gauge just there. So that's that bit. Right, let's just have a couple of seconds, because for this part it is kind of hard to explain. So let me just move you out like that. Hi guys. So thank you everybody that's been patient so far. So we've got our ribbon wire and 26 gauge all set up. This is the most tiresome of the build and the stream, because preparation is key for when you're working with ribbon wire. So I can't do this in a big section. I can only do it in a little section at the moment. So your decor is more or less exactly the same as you would do a normal decor wire, like that, but it is ribbon. So it's slightly harder when you stretch it. If you unstretch it, it can be harder to have a pinch, but because it's ribbon wire, it slides through the fingers very easy. So the best way to do it is to stretch it, and then what I do is I check the width of it, and then if it needs stretching a bit more, I stretch it a bit more. Like I say, it's easier to have it perfectly stretched when you start off rather than understretching it, because even though you can put a bit of a pinch on there, because it slides through your fingers a lot easier than just normal round wire alien. When you're putting the pinch on it, it can drag a bit. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, same with aliens, I can't tell you how to do it. It's just something you're going to have to play around with and see how you get on with it. Like I say, I've been practicing and I've either been getting it bang on, or I've just been messing it up completely. So I'm using both my pliers. I'm just doing this by hand. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to pull. I'm also going to look as well. So I'm just going to let one side go, and then I'm just going to get a close-up of this. So I'm just going to put a different lens on so I can see. Like I say, this stuff is more tougher, so you can be a tidgy bit more rougher with it. Let me get this. So I think I am quite good there. Let me just check this spacing again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it just slightly more than what I've stretched it. So again, I'm just going to grab one end with the pliers and then hopefully not mess this up. And then grab the other end again. Oh man. I'm just going to stretch it a little bit more. Like that. Let it go. So like I say, it's easier to get it just bang on, just to make it easier, because like I say, with ribbon wire it slides through the fingers a lot easier. So it's harder to have more of a pull or a pinch on there than it is any other time. So now that I've sort of showed you how to pull, it's just something you're going to have to play around with. It's either going to work for you or it's going to mess up for you like it has for me. It's either worked for me or messed up for me. So either way, it's just the way it goes. So let me get you back into position. So let me see what I'm on here, which is on normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Do a bit of manual focus here. So I'm going to put you around about here. So about here. There we are. So with one end I don't have to worry about it snagging or anything. So I'm just going to grab one end and it should feed through just fine. Right, let's see how this pans out. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my drill's in the opposite direction to the way I did this. So I'm just going to get a few wraps going. So I think I have got that more or less perfect. So I do need a bit of a... So as you can see there, straight away it's messed up. So even though I've still got a bit of a pinch on this, which is pretty hard of a pinch, there we are. So same as an alien, if you mess up, you can't do anything about it. So this is one of the reasons as well why I wanted to do an extra core wire, because I don't want to be pulling on it, because all I've done there is I've messed it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop that off. I don't want to waste it if I don't have to. And then I'm just going to reverse and take this all off. No, I'm not. And I've just messed all my wire up now. Yeah, nice one. And I've just messed up my wire. Okay guys, that is a wrap for this wire. I am sorry, but I'm going to have to start again. Sorry that everything is just over the place at the moment. It's just the way it goes with building. So messing about there and not having my drill right, I've gone and messed up my wire. So that is completely shot now. I can't use that. Beauty of ribbon wire, should I say. But these things happen and I'm glad they happen, because then I can basically tell you how it works. So that I completely messed up there at the end. So that's scrap now. That's nothing. Stressful. So sorry guys. It's just the way it goes. That had a bit of a kick on it there. So thanks everybody, it's dropping in, dropping out. If you don't know already, I've already messed up this build. And I'm having to prepare my ribbon wire yet again because I've messed up. So what I'm going to do is, because you've already seen me prepare a ribbon wire, I'm just going to prepare it and not tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to get on with it and do it. Like I say, I'm just going to get on with it and do it. You've seen me do it in this first part, so there's no point you see me basically doing it again. But I'm just going to prepare myself some more wire and some more ribbon wire, and then hopefully second time round this will work. Hopefully second time round. So at least I don't have to do my decor again, because I did think ahead of time, and I did myself an extra one, like so. So I have bent that a bit. So I'll just take that side and this side. Like I say, I'm not going to be talking too much. I'm just going to quickly prepare another section of wire, like so. So that's my 26 gauge. So again, I'll need 4 pieces of ribbon wire. So again, just doing it exactly the same as the way I did it before. 4 pieces of ribbon wire, and then I'll straighten them out once I've got them off the spool rather than on the spool. And try and cut obviously your ribbon wire with some scissors, because you just get a cleaner cut. I'm not wanting to stretch it on the spool because it'll mess up all my other, it'll mess the wire that's already on the spool. It's different doing it with round wire because it's all round, but this is flat. So thanks guys for being patient. Like I say, it's just the way it goes. Things happen, things mess up. Even with the best of us coil builders. Not that I do it professionally. So all straight. And then again, I'm just going to cut more flush. Keeping them all nice and straight. Bit of VG I'm using just to keep them all stacked and nice, and then same with that side, just run my fingers down, all stacked and nice. And then same with this side. This is why I like to, like I say, have extra when I'm cutting and stretching, just so for cut-offs, like so. And then again, fold it round like that, make a point. Keep rubbing your fingers down, making sure that it's all straight. Right, let's so what I'm going to do, I was going to do that all together. I'm just going to gently put that there. I'm going to get my piece of 26 gauge. I'm going to get that bent, and then I'll put that round it at the same time. When I hot glue it. So very carefully, I'm just going to pick them up, making sure I don't dislodge them in any way, which I haven't. That, like I say, spit or what I'm using, VG or water, might work better for you. So again, I'm going to just pinch, make sure everything's all together, and then again get some hot glue. That was still a bit wet. And then use it to secure this. If you get big blobs like that, just do that. So I'm just securing that together like I did before. Run my fingers down, like it's snagging just a little bit there. So like I say, if it snags, just give it a little wriggle. I'm going to pull it down, make sure everything's nice and neat. Make sure everything's nice and neat. So this is not going to be perfect, but it'll get me where I need to be to get this live still going. So appreciate it. If you just jumped in and you're wondering, oh, am I still building? Messed up my first wire. So this bit is going into the chuck. So I want a nice big blob on this side. There we are. So there we are, more or less back to where I was before I messed it up. So there again, back to where we were. And stressful. Right, so let me get this mounted in to the chuck. Make sure everything is straight. And then once I've got a bite on here, I'll let go. There we are. Oh, bastard. Oh, why has that happened? Right. So this might look a bit messed up, but it isn't. Well, it won't be once I've got a key ring on there and got a bit of tightness onto it. So where's my keyring. Right, keyring. So I've just had my keyring and I don't know where I've put it. I'm trying not to mess up this as well. Keyring is there. So again, I'm just going to mount keyring on there just to keep everything nice and straight, or as straight as I can get it. So that's perfect. Right. So I want to stretch this a bit more. It needs a bit more of a stretch onto it. Because like I say, when I'm doing it, I'm having to put a bit of a pinch on it. So make sure my drill is where it should be. Right. There we are. Okay. So I've actually got a decent amount of stretch on there. Right. So there, it looked as if I'd nudged my ribbon out the way. So let me just get this second one stretched. The second decal stretched, and hopefully this will work this time and not mess up on me. So I apologise that today's stream isn't more on point. So hopefully I've got that at a good stretch. Only wrapping will tell. Yeah, guys, this isn't working. Good evening, Alex. Well, it's kind of an alien build, but I keep messing up. I'm trying to do a Suka build, and it's just not playing ball at all. Thanks for joining, Alex. Anyway, so I've already, like I say, I've already messed up. Yeah, this wire does not want to play ball. Yeah. Yeah, that's not working one bit. Hope you can still hear me, guys. Yeah, that's not working one bit. And I've been going 2 hours now and I haven't even got my build done. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to nix this build because it's the second time I've done it now and it hasn't worked. So what I'm going to do is, just so this stream isn't a complete loss, I will do an alien because that is not good. Yeah, true. Alex, building isn't easy. I do build. I've been building for years. It's just I'm trying to come out of my comfort zone a bit and build something different. And if you follow me on social media, you know that I did a Suka a couple of weeks back. and it came out brilliant, but this time it just does not want to play ball. So anyway, nix that. No Suka this week. Let's nix that, because I'm not doing well at all tonight. So anyway, next that. So like I say, I'm building on that. I'm just going to do a normal alien. I think I need a bit more practice that and just made myself look a complete twat. Doing that, thinking I can do it. But it's been hit and miss for me. Doing that. So where are we? Let me get a nice big piece. So I'm going to do 24 gauge alien. So I'm just going to straighten up my wire in my chuck just here, and we'll go from there. Make it not a complete loss for this. So I'm just going to straighten this wire out. Let you see what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to grab my wire and pull it. So I've got a nice straight piece just there. So I just want to cut one piece off. So one of my wires I want about 20 centimeters, 8 inches. So got one of my wires just there. I need a slightly longer piece. I need a slightly longer piece, obviously, to do my Clapton part. So I'm just going to stick an L in there. Well, Alex, you picked a really good stream to come on tonight. If you're just curious about it or learning how to build, because I've completely messed up this stream, completely. But still, I still appreciate you being here. So there, I'm just mounting up. I've got a little tail there. So I'm going to put a tail in here just to hook up on my swivel. Like I say, try and salvage what I can of this stream. So I'm hooking that up into my swivel, locking that down. Don't want it too tight, I just want it enough. So I am going to do 36 gauge, wrapping opposite way round to where you're comfortable wrapping. So I like to wrap over the top, so I'm doing my alien part from underneath. Get my binoculars. So you can see what I'm doing here. So if you're jumping in and jumping out, I've messed up the Suka. I'm just doing a normal alien. I'm not going to waste any more time messing around. Stream's been going for 2 hours now, and I haven't even got a build sorted. So good thing about this chuck is I can slam it all the way to the top. Make sure your drill is in the opposite way that you feel comfortable doing. 90-degree angle, and then just do like a normal Clapton. So I'm not doing the full amount of this wire. just here. What I'm doing is I'll do about just over half. I need slightly more alien than I need, so boom, let's go from there. So I'm not holding my spool too tight. I want the core to obviously move, and hopefully my mic is doing the job that it's supposed to be doing and drowning out the sound of the drill. So like I say, 90-degree angle is all you need. Alex, no, I didn't. I couldn't make it this weekend. I had prior arrangements. I did go to the original Home Zone on tour last year, but I couldn't make this one this year. But I will be making the next one. Did you go, Alex? Did you go to the Home Zone on tour? I'm assuming you went, seeing as that you're asking. And Alex, do you follow me on social media? And is your name something different? Just in case I know who you are, but I don't know what your name is on YouTube. So I'm just going to stop there and move you over. So again, just going to carry on. So I want slightly more decor than I need. I will measure how much decor I've got. And it's always nice to have extra as well. Oh, right. Hey, Alex, it doesn't mean you can't go to the Home Zone. I know people that are abroad that come over. So I do need some more. So again, I'm just going to carry on. Just do a bit more. So this one is slightly easier for me. Because I can do aliens. I can do aliens. So just go right. Quick measure of that. That should be good. So I want to leave a little bit of a tail. On there. So it will recoil back a bit, hence why you need just slightly extra on there. And again, I'll move you up so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to chop this end off first, like that. Make sure my decor moves, which it does. Get this cut off. Slide the decor off. Boom, nicely done. Right, so that is my decor done. So I'm just going to unmount this wire and then get it all cut down. And then mount it up. Oh, right. Well, I do appreciate it, Alex. I do appreciate it. I do get, obviously, you're not sometimes being in the chat. I'm the same. I'll have live streams on, and I don't thingy the chat. So I want about. So all I'm doing now is just making all the wire same length, or more or less the same length. So I'm going to get my third piece of wire. Make sure it's all level. Watch your eyes. So, got my 24 gauge there, all parallel and next to each other, like so. So now what I'm going to do is... Nice one. Okay, how has that happened? There we are. Sorry about that. That fell off there. I don't know why that fell off. Right, so I'm going to obviously mount my... Well, I was going to mount my wires. Right, sorry guys, I've accidentally locked my device. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, come on. And again. Right. Right, there we are. Let's try again now that I've sort of like messed up everything that I was doing here. So, apologise. So, I'm just going to move that over here a bit. So, I'm going to open that. So, like I said, I've got my 24 gauge all lined up next to each other. I'm putting it in this chuck just here. So, this is my flat chuck, which does have a center point, so I can center all my wires, which is good with odd wires. There we are. Right, so as you can see, that chuck there just keeps everything nice and straight. So this side, just here. So this side just here, I'm going to make sure they're all straight like that. Stick an L in there. Bring my swivels across. Keeping everything straight and parallel, I'm just going to, because it's a stiffer wire, I can't move it round there like that. So boom, that's the wire set up. Swivels are moving, that's good. swivels are moving, so let me get you close with this. So there we are. So I'm going to try the same thing as I did before. I'm just going to do the half stretch method. It'll probably mess up on me knowing my luck. With my decore. But we should be good, hopefully. Fame's last words. So I'm just going to grip this with two of my pliers. I'm going to try and grip it with two of my pliers. Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to stretch it. So yeah, this is different to how I normally would do it. I normally stretch it fully. This is just like a half stretch method. See how that goes. So I'm just going to make sure your drill's in the opposite direction. So I'm just going to boom. There we are. So there, I've messed up a bit. So like I say, with aliens, you cannot restart. You can not restart as you go on. Right, where did I put that? Where am I putting these thingamajigs? Oh, kidding me. I'm losing stuff, and I'm throwing stuff away that I shouldn't be throwing away. So I forgot to put this on. Just to keep everything nice and flat. Just keep it going. Sorry guys, I know you can't see what I'm doing. I just want to get going and get this build sorted and finished with. Oh, nice one. That went a bit pear-shaped on me. Just gonna straighten that out. Right, I'm hoping that I do have enough there for a coil. I am so sorry that this has been a complete bust for me and a complete shamble. I should be able to get one coil out of there. But like I say, it's been a very, very stressful couple of weeks for me now. And I apologise for the absolute shit live. It just hasn't gone my way at all. But anyway, let's see if we can recover a bit. Very stressful, very stressful. Right. RDA.s, yeah. I'd love an RDA.s. I haven't got one of them yet, Alex. But there is a certain place which I can't mention, obviously because it's YouTube, that are selling them at a decent price. So I can't complain. So hopefully when I get a chance, because there's so much stuff that I want, but just never have the money for it. Have you got the 25mm one, or have you got the 30mm RDA.s? Oh, you got both. That sounds perfect. Right, let me get my camera how I want it, which is like that. So let me take the thing out. Like I said, this RDA is broken. By broken, if you haven't thingy, one post is broken, but I am just using it for a single coil. So let's get these open, our post holes open, ready. So I want about a 3.5mm diameter coil. So I'm just using my Coil Master coiling jig. to obviously do my wraps and stuff. So hopefully I'll get a decent amount of wraps from this. Let me just put some stuff away. Let me just move that out of the way. So there we are. Just a normal Alien, 3-quart Alien, 24 gauge Alien. Not perfect. There's a few mistakes in there. So you've got a flat end and one with a ridge in. So the flat side you want against your jig, and then the curvy part you want on the top. So let's get a coil wrapped. So first wrap is always your most awkward one. 2, 3, 4. Let's have a look at 4 in there. Which I think will be just right for the build that I want in there. Like so. So let me just do some eye measuring. So what I want to do is I want it leaning over. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to put my leg there, like so. And then I'm going to bend the leg, like so. And then I'm just going to quickly measure just where I want my coil, which is about there. So I'm going to put another bend in it, just for it to sit nicely in that deck, which is about where I want it, which is basically like that. I just want to put a bend in it. So I'm going to do the same with the other leg, and then I'm just going to trim these. I want you to see what I'm doing, sorry. So I'm just going to trim these down. Watch your eyes. Hopefully that hasn't come through the camera at you. So boom, got the coil there. That's ready. Sorry about tonight's stream, guys. I do apologise. So I just want that to fall in there like that. Or I did want them to fall in there like that. So let me just do a bit more adjustment. Like that. So basically like that. That's how I want it sitting in there for now. So lock them in. So this is still a good RDA. Like I say, I still use this RDA. Say it's an old RDA, it's still a great RDA. The original before the Drop Dead and the Dead Rabbit and everything came out. So I'm trying to just stay in line there and then adjust. So I want it about there. That should be fine. So boom. Right. So yeah, doing a single coil build, Alex, because the reason why I'm doing a single coil build in this particular RDA is because one of my posts are broken on it, so it's still usable, but I can only do a single coil on there. So as you can see there, you know that post there, the back bit that holds the coil in is broken. So I've got one that's broken, but I can still use it in single coil version. So I've got a 3.5mm Alien, 24 gauge, 36 gauge Alien in there. So let me see if I can get you. How close can I get you? Can I get you that? You're good now. There we are. That's about where I want you. As close as that to the coil. So is this a new coil? So as it sits now, it's reading at a 0.9, but I won't be dry firing it at 80 watts. So that should creep up a bit. So I just want to introduce a bit. So as you can see, it's not perfect. There is imperfections there. I'm not making these professionally. They're just for me to vape, and then obviously to educate some people or some people to learn. Not that they're going to learn much from this stream at the moment because it's just been a complete flop. 2.5 hours and I'm only just mounting a coil onto an RDA. Do you even vape, bro? So I'm just going to pull you out just slightly. So I'm just going to introduce a little bit of heat to this at a time. Got my tweezers here just in case I need to do any strumming or anything, but I'm just going to introduce the heat slowly. So as you can see, I'm getting some thingy there. I'm just going to make sure that these posts are nicely tightened down, which they are. So slowly introduce the heat into it. Don't have to be major. Do a bit of strumming. So different people like to do different things. Some people like to strum. Some people like to pull some pinch. You know, people like to do different things the way they do. I like to do a bit of everything, where I like to pulse, pinch, stretch, you know, stuff like that. I like to do just to get the coils where I want them to be. It is a big and juicy coil, and I'm hoping it's going to vape just as good as well. So like I say, just introducing heat into it a little bit at a time, giving it a strum every now and then. So what I also like to do is I also like to give them a little stretch as well, introduce some heat. So if you're not familiar with coils or making coils, you need to work out your hot spots. So as you can see, as I'm thinking it, do you know just there? That's like a lightning bolt. That's what we call a hot spot. And that's what you need to work out. So if you hear hot spot, it's not you're on a game show or anything, Strike It Rich or anything. Just play around with it, introduce heat to it. So you want them glowing from the inside out. So just work it, do what you need to do to get it glowing nicely from the inside out. So like I say, I do a bit of pinching there and then slowly introduce heat. As you can see, they're starting to glow nice. So there we are. So glowing from the inside out evenly, which is what we want, which is perfect. Right, boom. So there we are. That is glowing from the inside out. That is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cool down, guys. I'm out of drink, so I will go and get myself a drink and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to put my hold screen on for a couple of minutes. Just be patient and I'll be back soon to carry on with the build. Just let that cool down, that coil cool down. I'll be back in a second, guys.
If you don't choose straight, refill and vape all day. This ain't goodbye, just a little break. More bills, more chill, more clouds to make. Max all nights, we keep it lit. Clouds so thick, we never quit. Be back in a jiffy, don't choose straight. Refill and vape all day. This ain't goodbye, just a little break.
Back, thanks for being patient, guys. Boom, and we are back. Thanks for being patient, guys. So let me just move that out of the way while that's thinking down. So my next drink is from Northern Monk. So it's Even S'mores Death, which is a chocolate and marshmallow and biscuit imperial stout, which is my favourite. I like flavoured stouts. This is mine. WB. Alex, what do you mean by WB? So it's an 8.4% alcohol, chocolate marshmallow and biscuit imperial stout. So that's a bit quicker there. A gooey sweet treat for those nights by the campfire. Crafted brewery with Northern Monk pride and crackling with chocolate and marshmallow flavoured. So that's my number 2. Oh, welcome back. Thank you. So I'm just going to use the same glass and I'll pour it. So if you follow me, obviously, Alex, you say you have watched other streams. You know that my favourite is a Bertha by Northern Monk. And this looks really nice and creamy and thick. Yeah, nice and creamy and thick. So my camera is not wanting to play ball. There we are. So you can see me a bit better, guys. There we are. There we are. So there we are. Nice thick stout. Definitely smells of chocolate and marshmallow. So I will be pairing it with the custard cream. So I'm gonna have a quick sip. Wow. Now I can't explain the taste on this one. So you get nice rich stout there. It's more marshmallowy than chocolate and biscuit. There is a slight bit of bitterness chocolate in there with a slight note of biscuitiness to it, but it's more, I can taste more marshmallow than anything. So hopefully it'll go good with this biscuity juice that I've got. Cheers, guys. That works. Yeah, that definitely goes with that. The biscuitiness of the juice definitely brings out that chocolate and the marshmallow. Still a hint of biscuitiness to it, but not as much as I thought it would be. But definitely a nice, thick, rich stout, imperial stout. Excuse me. Right, let's get back to what we were doing. So, boom. Alright, let's see if we can get you all thingied up. So I'm just going to keep it at this view for now, and I'll get you in closer when I'm done. So is this a new coil? Yes. So resting resistance for final resistance for this is a 0.16, which should work out just nicely. That's perfect. So let's get this wicked up. So my wicking material that I use, I do like Kendo Gold Edition vape cotton. It's just my preferred. It's not everybody's preferred. I like this Firebolt and just normal Kendo Muji cotton. But like I say, it's one that I've gone to and one that I've gone back to each time, and I just like this cotton. For me, it's just my preference and the way I like it. So a nice big beefy coil, so I'll need plenty of wick. I need to chop myself off a big piece. So it just comes similar to cotton bacon, but just one nice long piece. It looks really dense, but it isn't. It's nice and soft and fluffy, like a cloud. But like I say, it looks really dense, and it isn't. It is so fluffy and bouncy. And super absorbent. There is a slight kick-in time for it, but once that cotton gets soaked up in juice, the flavour is just out of this world, is the flavour from it. So getting myself a nice piece there, getting rid of any stragglers and stuff like that. So I'm going to obviously curl the end. Like I say, it looks really thick and dense, but it isn't. It's nice and soft and fluffy. So there we are. So there we are. Like I say, it looks really dense, but it's nice and soft and fluffy. So I want about that much. I don't want to really waste any cotton. So anything that I don't use will probably get used in a borrow. This half. But yeah, like I say, it looks really dense, but it isn't. So Alex, Cotton Gods. Yeah, so this is very, very similar to Maviton. Alex, very, very similar. It like Maviton, there is a bit of a break-in period. I haven't tried Maviton, but if you, I'm assuming you've got it off Jaff, Maviton. If you haven't just got it main from them, but very, very similar to Maviton cotton. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to fluff it out. I'm not really thinning it. I'm just making sure that there's no clumps or anything in it. Just to help with that wicking and that capillary action. Bit of under tickle there. Perfect. And like I say, it looks really dense, but it isn't. It's nice and fluffy. Nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to tuck that in and see where I'm at. Oh, in the Netherlands. Oh, right. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Nothing special. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad I didn't cut it down. So there, yeah. Like I say, nice and fluffy. There we are, nice and fluffy. So let me get you in. So what juice am I going to use in this? So I'm gonna use a bit of my current favorite, which is Dubai chocolate. I have only got a little bit of this left. I need to get some more. But Alex, I did get this from the Home Zone until last year, so I have been using it very, very sparingly. But it is my current favorite juice at the moment. So that's what I'm going to be juicing up with. Try and get you in for some some juice action. I don't know how that's gonna work out though. That might have to go up slightly like that. So boom. So I'm going to turn this down a bit. I don't want to be firing it at 90 watts straight off the bat. So I'm going to boom. I'm going to drop it to about 30 watts just to get it primed. I'm not normally a fan of chocolate in a vape, Alex. I mean, last time I tried chocolate was a Highlands Cloud back in the day. But yeah, I'm picky with chocolate, but this actually tastes like chocolate. It's not bitter. There's no horrible aftertaste. There's no bad smell from it. It's the only chocolate that I've tried in years is the Dubai chocolate, and the chocolate tastes like milk chocolate. Pistachio tastes like pistachio, and the cream tastes like cream. It's a really hard one to make, and I haven't had a chocolate one in years. So let's get some juice dropped on there. So I'm just going to dump a load of juice on there, give it a little test fire to prime it. I want to get that juice into the coil and the cotton. And that will soak up a lot of juice as well. And same with the cotton. I'm just going to dab some juice on there. So now that I've got it a bit more primed, I'm going to turn it up. There we are. And that's looking good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly check here. I don't want any cotton obstructing my airflow. So I'm just going to make sure that cotton is out of the way, which it is. Sorry if I'm going out of camera view. There we are. So all I'm doing is just I'm making sure that there's no restriction underneath the coil. Yeah, I do like cake vapes, dessert vapes, but probably like you, I'm too picky, Alex. And if I hadn't been able to test it at the Home Zone on tour, I wouldn't have bought it. But because they had them on testers and stuff, and you could try the juice, like I said, I was completely shocked with how nice it was. I was like, that chocolate is absolutely sublime. But like I say, not really a chocolate vapor myself, but that one is extremely exceptional. So boom. So anyway, that is the RDA all built up. So I'm just going to put the top cap on. Everything all locks up and lines into place because of that divot. So airflow is at the coil. So what do I want to put it on? So this is just my building mod. Used to use it back in the day. I do have another one, a brand new one in platinum. But yeah, anyway, cheers guys. So I want to put this on a mech. So let's put it on a mech. So the mech that I'm going to choose is from way back in the day. So anybody remember the Manhattan, basically? So this is a Foo Hatton. So the Manhattan originally was made by Amerivape. The Foo Hatton was basically a fuck you Hatton. And if you've been vaping as long as I have, I can't actually remember. I mean, obviously companies used to do clones, so this was a clone. But these were really popular back in the day. If you ever watch Todd's review back in the day when he reviewed the original Manhattan, obviously the company weren't happy with him. So these were popular, the FU Hatton, the fuck you Hatton. But it's basically a Manhattan. Basically, it's a clone. I do have an authentic Manhattan, but that's away. I don't use that at all. But I do have a few Foo Hattons and a few clone Manhattans. But I do have an authentic one. Center pin there. I mean, for a clone, all these were really good. I mean, they were basically made by the company that made the Manhattan for them. They just basically ripped it off. But yeah, threads and everything, nice and smooth on there. Magnetic button. like that. So definitely old school. Definitely old school. It was clean, but I've just put a load of fingerprints on there. So at one time, I used to run this RDA on a different one, a white copper one, but I think this looks quite good there. So yeah. So it fits nice and flush. This is a 25mm mech, so there's a bit of a step there. So drop was definitely 24mm. So 18650 battery. Got a booby mashup wrap on here by ODB Wraps. So I'm going to be running my battery upside down, so positive facing down, negative to the pin, because the venting holes are on the bottom. So you want where you're positive. If it does vent, you want the gases to escape where the holes are. So if your mech had holes at the bottom, just run your battery at the top. I can run it at the top like that, but if something happens and it vents, obviously it needs holes for the gases to dissipate and move. So boom, that's in there. Nice and good, no rattle or anything. Do we have power? Yes, we do. And that's hitting nice and hard. So anyway, just let me check my mic, because my mic does run out normally before my streams. So if it does, please tell me that you can't hear me so I can swap my mic around for one that is charged. So boom, let's put you there. There we are. Take my binoculars off. Boom. Yeah. So I'm gonna get you a bit close this time so you can see me a bit better. So boom. So there we have it. The FU Hatton, or the Fuck You Hatton, which was a rip-off of the Manhattan. If you know the stories back in the day, you probably know why. The original drop RDA, still a good RDA. Single coil, 24 gauge alien, standard alien, because the other builds today didn't work out. Like I say, I've had a stressful 2 weeks. Father was in hospital and stuff like that, so I've been a bit unprepared and I haven't streamed for 2 weeks, but I did want to get back into it. But the Suka just went completely tits up. So as you can see, and it's hitting nice and hard, just the way I remember it. So let me have a toot. Smells gorgeous. Still hitting hard. Excuse me. That is a dry mouth, that is. There we are. So let me cut down the airflow, the top line of the airflow. So yeah, top line I've cut off. Let me drip some more on there. Like I say, do you even drip, bro? Do you even vape? So boom. There we are. So this is the way I would normally run it. With the top with the top row closed down. Much better. Really nice. So does anybody remember the Foo Hatton or the Manhattan? Does anybody remember that, mate? Excuse me. Boy, that got my throat. Like I said, do you even vape, bro? Chest. Much better. Only for 6 years. Okay. Well, I go back to 2013, 2014-ish. So if I do a quick Google, let's see. So about 2015-ish is where you're looking where this Met mod came out. Yeah. This juice tastes nice in this, even though it's only a single coil. Boy, that first couple of hits didn't half mess up my throat a bit. Yeah. Can't explain this juice. This juice is just phenomenal. For a chocolate one as well. Like I say, if you've vaped as long as me and tried chocolate in the past, boy, it's a hard one to get right. Most of the ones that I've tried are more like sort of like a dark chocolatey taste, which it had a right bad bitter taste after it. And then after vaping it a while, you did have a weird smell as well. And then the aftertaste as well also used to get on me with chocolate vapes. But this one, it's very moreish. Once you start vaping it, you want more, you want more. That's why I've been using it very sparingly, because not in the UK, the people that stock it, once it comes in, it goes straight back out. So, Alex, if you don't mind me asking, because you're the one that's still here, what was your first device that you used 6 years ago that got you into vaping? Was it rebuildables? Was it just a normal standard stick pen, sub-ohm setup, pod setup? What got you into it? Moorish. Very Moorish. Just tidying up. Bit of housekeeping. Just a sub-ohm tank. Was it a good one that you got, a sub-ohm tank, or like most of us when we started vaping, did you end up spending a lot of money before you got to your right device or right tank or whatever? Vaporesso starter kit. That is good. That is good. Vaporesso, can't complain about their devices. Their devices are brilliant. UL Caliburn as well, another good device to get started if you're doing a pod kit. There's loads of pod kits out there, but you can get the wrong pod kit and it can put you off big time. So it looks like my mic this time around has stayed going longer than I thought. Watch it now die. So these O-rings are really stiff on this. Oh, they've gone stiff on this. So I'm actually going to open that up back up. Those O-rings have gone really, really stiff on there. There we are. Nice. Yeah, definitely. Some pods were easy to take the rubber bung out of it. I don't get why they went and did that with tanks and stuff, because obviously tanks used to come in like 4 mil plus tanks. So yeah, the TPD ruined it for a bit. I mean, it's not so bad for us now, I suppose, because we've got companies that'll give you a bubble glass and stuff with what you're using. A bubble glass, but yeah, I mean, even TPD with juices as well for me. Juices want the same after TPD for me. That's a bit better, fully open. Yeah, Dead Rabbit was good. I mean, the Dead Rabbit, Alex, sort of originated from the drop, because the drop came out, and then the drop dead came out, and then they did the Dead Rabbit. But the original creator for this, the drop, didn't want to stay with the company. So they basically messed it up. But the Dead Rabbit, yeah, definitely good. So the drop came out around about 2017-ish. The drop, but yeah. Still a good RDA today. I mean, it competes with RDAs that I've tried now. It's just as good as I'd say Grim Green's new recoil. Nearly up there with Vaping Bogan's Bonza Pro RDA. It still really is a good, tasty RTA. And that's one thing I like about mechs as well. I mean, this is a pretty old mech with a good clean. It's working. Still hitting hard, especially for a clone. That's what I like about mech mods is you get a regulated mod, chip goes, you need to buy a new regulated mod. Not to say that I don't have regulated mods in my collection. I do have regulated mods, I like mechs. Doesn't matter how old they are, good clean up, stick a battery in, an RDA on it, safely, you're good. You're good to go. I levitate more to a mech. It's my choice of device, should I say. So who have we got in other than Alex that's watching? I mean, I know there's only 2 people watching, which I do appreciate. And today's stream didn't go to plan whatsoever. Oh, my throat. Do you even vape, bro? Intake Dual, good RTA. I mean, when I started, I went from a stick pen to a sub-ohm tank very quickly, and then within 6 months, I were on mechs and RDAs. But back then, people used to know what they were doing in shops. Now, people don't know what they're doing in shops unless it's disposables or pod kits. People don't really know much about rebuildables, RDAs, mech mods, and stuff like that. I mean, I walk into shops and they're wondering what I'm vaping. I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, it's a mech mod. And then some shops you go into as well, you can get people that can be right abrupt with you as well. Shops are not like it was 10 years ago. It's the times I miss about vaping when it was back in the day. Just people knew the stuff. People now, I go into shops and they don't even realise what a 18650 battery is or 21700 battery is. And they do sell them, they just don't know anything about them. What mech have you got, Alex? My first mech was a Nemesis mech, which I've still got. And my first RDA was the Mutation X RDA. Excuse me. So for the people that are jumping in and stuff, finished the build. It wasn't the build that I started with originally. It's just a 3-core Alien, 24 gauge 3-core Alien, single coil on the drop, and then the Manhattan mech mod, which is basically a rip-off and a clone of the Manhattan. Like I say, if you've been vaping as long as I have, if you know, you know, sort of situation. Still kicking ass. Dreamer, great mod, great mech. I don't have one in my collection. Probably one of the reasons why I like being a retro vapor, because there's a lot of mechs that are pretty old or 5 years and older. You can get a bargain sometimes as well. Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, can't fault that Dubai custard 1 bit. How much have I got left? Got just a tiny bit left. You can see there just in the bottom. All right. Who's the modder, Alex? I might want to have a look myself. This is kicking ass, this. Hi, Lauren. Thanks for joining. Yes, it is Dubai custard. I did buy it off your mum Brett at the Home Zone last year. I'm using it very sparingly, very sparingly. Only got a little bit left, but yeah, it is Dubai chocolate. Great e-juice, by the way. I was just telling Alex, because Alex doesn't like chocolate, really like chocolates, and I don't really like chocolates, but that Dubai chocolate is phenomenal. It's on point. Yeah, using it very sparingly. Whenever I try it and find it, Lauren, online, it's either sold out or unavailable at the moment. So that's why I've been using it very sparingly, because when I start vaping it, I can't stop vaping it. Like I say, people that have had chocolate vapes and don't like chocolate vapes, you have to try it. Like I said, I was able to try it at the Home Zone and taught, otherwise I probably wouldn't have even purchased it. Oh wow, vanilla creme brulee. I'm gonna have to check that company out as well. Like I say, I normally get my juices made for me. That's just the way I have been. I don't normally buy normal juice because I'm too picky with it. All right, thanks, Lauren. Yeah, definitely, I will do that. I need to get more than one bottle though, because like I say, I can vape it and vape it and vape it. Bottle. It's on e-cig 1. That's good, Alex, because I like shopping at e-cig 1. So that is a good one. Right. Decent price too. I'm gonna have to take a look at that, Alex. Yeah, can't get enough of this. I think I'm gonna end up vaping all this juice in this one. Thanks to everybody that's jumping in now. Goes well with this marshmallow drink that I've got as well. The s'mores drink, s'mores stout. Yeah, thanks for joining, Alex. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next one, mate. Thanks for joining. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Like I say, it's been going on for 3 hours now, and like I say, it hasn't been a great stream because I haven't been about for 2 weeks. It's been a stressful 2 weeks for me, and I haven't had time to practice, and it's been a hit and miss with the Suka build. That's why I ended up just doing a 3-core alien. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully next week I will do better. I'll have a bit more time to practice and stuff now that I'm back home and everything. So that's what I'll do here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Unless I tell you otherwise. So like I say, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks, Lauren. Like I say, it wasn't the bestest stream I've done today, this week. Like I say, it's been very, very stressful. And then obviously with plans this weekend, I didn't make it to the Home Zone on tour as well. So I would have liked to have been there, but I'm definitely going to get the next one. So I'll leave it there, guys. I'll see you next week as normal. Best way to support the channel is to like and subscribe and share. Comment, boost the videos up there for people who want to, look at a bit of nostalgia and learn how to build coils, or try to learn how to build coils from me that can't even build coils in this section. But yeah, anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you that have come. Shout out to the hashtag replay crew. I know all you guys get the replay, and appreciate you all. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Vape safe, and I'll see you soon. Love and respect.